Good evening. It is Friday, February 9th, 2024, and coming to you live from Lonely Tree Media headquarters in Tacoma, Washington. This is the Best Lamm Sports Show. Welcome into the show, everybody. I'm your host, David Lamm. With me is my son, Parker. Say hello, Parker.
Hello, Parker.
Yeah.
Still here.
I agree. What'd you say?
So they're still here.
They're still here. They're always here. They never leave, and the grocery bill's getting high. So we're here to talk mostly about the Super Bowl, right?
Mostly.
I don't know that what we can bring that nobody else has already brought to the party, but let's try. We'll see what we can see what we can come up with. I got some nuggets, some interesting information, and then at the end we'll pick our winners. Yeah, we've got also to talk about the NBA All-Star Game. The list of players, the rosters are out. We also see a list of people who didn't make the team that maybe might have, should have, or maybe were rightfully left off, and somebody's just heard about it, right? We got the NHL All-Star Game. It wasn't just a game, it's an All-Star weekend, and there were 4 teams, and they played a tournament, so to speak. It's interesting. The All-Star Games, we'll talk about that too. Let's hold that thought. We'll talk about just All-Star Games in general. And then what else have I got? Coaching changes. All the coordinators are changing teams. It's like everybody get up and move one team to the left. That's that time of year where all that happens. But first, we have the trivia question. Are you ready for the trivia question?
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. The Stave and Stone trivia question is this. Who has thrown the most interceptions in their Super Bowl career? And secondly, the second part of the question, who has thrown the most in one single game? There's two. There you go. There's 2 parts to this answer. So could be the same person, might not be the same person.
I don't think it's the same person.
Well, there you go. So who has thrown the most interceptions in their Super Bowl career, and who has thrown the most interceptions in one Super Bowl game? So we'll do that. You want to answer it now, or you want to wait until the end?
All right. I think career. I'm gonna go. I'll just answer it now, but we can clear it up at the end.
Yeah.
I think career. I'm gonna go with Tom Brady, just because he's played in so many.
Okay.
So it stands to reason if he's thrown one a game, he's played in
10
10
games.
Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
10 Super Bowls.
That's a lot of picks,
right?
I do know that John Elway was a big fan of throwing interceptions in his thing too.
That's a nice way to put it.
And he played for quite a few. He played for a few as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he would beat Tom Brady though, because Tom Brady's just been in more. As far as who's thrown the most in a single game, I'm gonna go with. I don't know. Did they throw a lot? I was gonna say Matt Ryan. That 28-3 thing, because they were throwing the ball up, but I'm starting to think it was just punting the whole time. That they were just having terrible drives and just punting the ball. That's the.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, you want me to tell you now?
Sure, yeah, might as well.
Okay, so we'll do the trivia answer right now. You ready?
Yeah.
So the player in NFL history that's thrown the most interceptions in Super Bowl history is John Elway.
God dang it!
with 8, right?
Only 8?
He threw 8 interceptions in 5 games. Yeah. So
John Elway's been in 5 Super Bowls.
5. He played in 5 Super Bowls. Yeah, he lost 3, and then he won those back-to-back ones, right?
Yeah, he won the back-to-back.
Yeah, he's thrown 8 interceptions. He threw 3 touchdowns.
That's actually better, like of a ratio for him. 5 Super Bowls, 8 picks. I'm sure 2 of those were in one game. So that's I don't know why I feel like that's a better deal than what I thought.
So in relation to your answer of Tom Brady is 4th on this list.
How many has he thrown? 5 or 6?
6.
Okay.
There's 2 guys that threw 7. That's Jim Kelly, who played in 4 consecutive Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Right. He threw 7 interceptions. They lost all 4. And Craig Morton, another Denver Bronco, who played in 2 Super Bowls and threw 4 in one game and 3 in another. So
Jeez.
he threw 7 in 2 games.
I wonder they didn't win those Super Bowls.
Yeah, yeah. Denver Broncos right up at the top representing. And then
I
what?
just can't believe that Brady has only thrown 6
6.
interceptions in probably in what, like 8,
10. It's 10 Super Bowl games.
10 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
God,
21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions
not bad. You
That's
take
pretty-
that. You take that for most quarterbacks on a season.
on a season. Yeah. Yeah, that's just his Super Bowl record. Also, so just and I added this one on, but the player that has thrown the most in a single game is Rich Gannon. So Rich Gannon, who played for the Raiders, threw 5 interceptions in his lone Super Bowl appearance. He did throw 2 touchdown passes. I'm just going to throw that in there. So it wasn't all terrible. It just was mostly terrible.
All right, what would be more heart? Well, no, because that's not true. All right, in my head, I was gonna say, how heartbreaking would it be to watch your team battle through the year, get to the Super Bowl, and then your quarterback goes out there and throws 5 picks, and you're like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah,
like if you're the defense of that Raiders team, you're like, can you help us at all?
Yeah, can you do anything for me?
Anything would be nice.
Yeah,
but I was gonna ask, would you rather have your team get blown out in the Super Bowl, or would you rather them lose close?
I'd rather them lose close. At least there's, you can talk about moral victory and all that, but I feel like at least you competed and you knew that you were good enough to win. If you lose like on a last second field goal, that's better than just getting blown out. Then you doubt yourself all the offseason. Were we good enough? So
when the Broncos got blown out by the Seahawks, the only benefit to it is that you have a lot of time to come to grips with it. Yeah. By the time the game's over, you're not like reeling from a loss. You're like, well, we got our asses kicked. But if you lose late, I can imagine, Seahawks versus Patriots. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Like I feel like you would hold on to for an extra couple days, whereas the other one, by the time the game's over, you're like, that sucked.
Yeah, it really. It was really
but you're right about the doubt thing, because when that offseason, as Bronco fans, you doubted that team's offensive capabilities.
Yeah.
You're like, well, what just happened? Like, can we play against good defenses?
Yeah.
Versus the Seahawks, you doubted the play calling, and you went, why didn't you just run the ball?
Yeah, well,
like it was like one thing versus a bigger thing, so I kind of get that.
Yeah, I'd rather be in a close game and lose at the end. Just if you get blown out, then you just go, dude, what are we doing? Anyway, but not that it matters. Nobody, a loss is a loss. They're going to tell you that, and the players are probably just going to tell you a loss is a loss. It hurts no matter what. No, it hurts a little more. I think it hurts more to lose the close game in the short term. But in the long term, there's more to build on there, So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's true. Again, that shock factor, that stinging, like long lasting, like what did I just witness?
Yeah,
I feel like you hold on to that for a couple days.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's even harder if you lose it suddenly. If the game
like the Seahawks did.
If the game is tied and you're marching, or the other team marches down the field and scores the game-winning field goal, you kind of expect it's coming.
You go, oh no.
Yeah,
oh, no.
yeah.
Oh no.
There's time to build up to it. But when like the Seahawks, they were going to win that game. There was no doubt.
They should have.
And then all of a sudden they didn't. And you're like, what? That's when you go, what just happened? Well, how did that even become a thing?
Suddenly is a great word to describe that, because when you're not like you said, if the Seahawks would have tried 4 times at the goal line to get in, and it got stuffed one after the next, you'd be like, okay, is this gonna work? Is this gonna happen?
Right.
As opposed to like one play pick.
Yeah, it was devastating, because you just knew they were going to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. You knew. Everyone
in the world knew, except for someone, and they still have never said who made the play call.
ESPN
Pete has come out and said that, it's on me as the coach.
I'm sure that ESPN, and I'm not sure that they had it back then, but if they had that predictor thing that showed the little chart that shows you what the odds are.
99.999.
Oh yeah, it had to be as much as it ever has been. And
Vegas was cashing out bets already.
Oh yeah, I would have been making sure we had the cash for sure. Anyway, that was bad, but that sudden loss, the sudden turn, like if you throw an interception that ends in the game, or a guy breaks a 90-yard run and you lose that way or something. Those are heartbreaking. Those are those games where you go, oh crap, what? It's just
But there's
deflation.
the unexcusable comeback like Patriots Falcons.
Oh, that was bad.
Where you're sitting there, you're like,
but
anything. Can we do anything?
But you saw it coming. Still, you just knew that they were going to lose.
But you're watching this oncoming train, and you're knowing, just step off the fucking tracks.
Just one play.
Go anywhere else, and we'll be fine.
Can any of you guys make one play? Just one is all we need, and this is done.
And that's almost from a not being a fan of either team. That's more painful to watch.
It was. And you felt really bad for Atlanta when that happened.
We felt bad for Matt Ryan because he's getting dealt with dog crap play calling down the stretch of that game, and also you're like, oh, the evil empire is about to take over again. Damn it.
Matty ball game. Matty Ice, whatever you want to call him. So also, this is a thing. So is that not maybe the best Funko Pop in the history of Funko Pops? I don't know. There's a lot of good ones, but this was so sudden, and they turned it into, right down to the beer can, which literally looks like what he's holding.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I love this. They're sold out, by the way. You can't even get one. They had a pre-order thing, and now they're all gone.
I already pre-ordered mine.
Did you are you gonna get one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. So anyway, that's if Jason Kelce, and I know he didn't win Sexiest Man Alive, he probably should have for this.
Yeah.
Right? None of those other guys are doing this. Yeah, he's not. It's not all about being super sexy. It's about the person. This is awesome.
Right.
Nobody else is doing this. So.
Well, no, there's tons of people doing this. They're all in the stands. They're just not famous.
Not famous guys doing this, right? Well, if it was your brother, maybe, you might do this for your brother. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, there's that. I just had to show it because I think it's pretty awesome. Super Bowl 58 is coming to your hometown on Sunday. I don't even know what time. Let me look at this because I didn't even look. It starts the coverage
4:30.
Yeah. Yeah, official coverage starts at 3:30 on CBS, but there's stuff on before that. It starts at like 9 a.m. You can watch prep stuff all day if you're willing to watch a couple different channels, but it's on CBS. In Las Vegas, right? And I love the fact that on the ESPN website they give you the AccuWeather forecast. Game time weather is going to be 60 degrees. Not in the stadium, it's not. Whatever. So it's 70 whatever, 72 or 68 or whatever the stadium's set for. So I feel like that's dumb to give me the weather. It's part of their thing. I get it.
I don't care about the weather in an indoor stadium.
Yeah, I really don't. You don't have. Well, SoFi might be the example, right? If it was at SoFi.
Talking about the open ends.
Yeah, because if it was 112 outside, it might be warmer inside.
They have those. They have the ability to open the ends of Allegiant too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they're not going to in winter. It's going to be 70-something degrees.
Right. You didn't put your stadium in LA.
Right.
Where you really don't have to worry about it most of the time.
Right.
I couldn't believe. Do you remember? Was it the first year of SoFi? They had the weather delay because the windows were open and there was lightning, so they had to go. Even though the place is covered, they got a weather delay.
I do remember
indoors.
An indoor weather delay.
It's never happened since, but
I do remember that.
What the hell is going on?
Which was weird, right? Because you're like, why are we stopping the game? Oh, there's lightning. But we're inside. Well, kind of.
Well, most of us.
Most of us are inside, yeah. Anyway, so Chiefs and Niners, right? One of the most boring color games you're ever going to see. Not going to be a feast for the eyes. Buffalo would have been a good option in there. Heck, even I don't know. Baltimore, I really don't like because they end up wearing black. If Baltimore wore purple, that'd be pretty good too. I'd have gone with that. Or if Detroit had been in there against Kansas City, that would have been good, right?
The game that would have made the most sense was Baltimore versus Miami from a beautiful, unique color standpoint.
Yeah, they're in the same conference, so you can't play.
I know. I'm just saying that's what would have looked the best.
If Baltimore wears purple.
If both of them would have to wear their homes,
right,
to make that work.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the brightest color in the NFC?
In the NFC?
Yeah.
Well,
Seahawks with
If
if they wore that color rush.
if they were the green, yeah, maybe. They have one of the brightest colors, but
But it's not one of their
not normal.
primaries though.
If you're looking at a primary uniform in the NFC, wow, you're killing me here.
Well, yeah. Once you have to start sitting there thinking, well, there's a purple. There's the Vikings.
The Vikings are purple. Yeah, that would be pretty good.
The
but
Bears can wear orange.
yeah, but again, that's not the norm, right? You're looking for a team that
Yeah.
has a normal color that's bright. The Falcons could wear red too, but for that matter. Um,
Yeah, there really isn't like a great color. I
no.
mean, there's
Carolina with the powder blue, maybe.
yeah, but
Det-
their base uniforms I think are black.
Detroit has
The powder blues their alternates.
Detroit's royal blue. I mean, it's not. Arizona has red, but so does Tampa Bay.
Detroit versus Kansas City would have been very aesthetically pleasing.
That would have been nice. Yeah, that would have been cool looking. Anyway,
which is what we were all rooting for.
wishful thinking. We were. I was wishing for Detroit,
all
Baltimore so bad. I was like, that would be great.
That would have been pretty too.
Yeah, that would have been neat, but it didn't happen. So anyway, there's that. So let's talk about this game. It started out. The open was a 2.5 point. San Francisco's a 2.5 point favorite. Was the open on this in Vegas? It's 1.5 right now. I'm sure that will change as we get close to game time because there'll be that last minute rush of bets as people wait to see who's actually injured and not injured. But it's 1.5 for the Niners. Do you agree with the Niners being the favorite in this game?
I agree with people who look at the paper picking the Niners to be the favorite.
So on paper, you agree with it.
On paper, they are stacked. That defense, you should not gain any yards.
Well, yeah.
Against that defense. But that being said, it's freaking Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's fans all on their back. And then the best offensive head coach in maybe of all time, Andy Reid. It doesn't matter what your strength is, they'll find a way to break into it. So I feel like it's disrespectful to the Chiefs to be underdogs despite their 4th Super Bowl appearance in 6 years.
And I just want to say this. Currently, the Niners have nobody listed on their injury report. I'm not saying that's true, but I'm just saying. The Chiefs has a couple guys. Joe Tooney is out, right? That's a big deal. That's one of their mainstays. But it hasn't been as big a deal as you'd think it would be.
He's been out off and on all season,
right?
Too. Couple issues.
But anyway, it's limited injuries. So that's good. You're talking about a 14-6 Kansas City team at this point, and a 14-5 San Francisco team, right? If that makes it any better, if you want to go by records, right? If you're going to pick the red team, you're screwed. If you're going to go by record, you're kind of screwed. Both have 14 wins. The AFC West and the NFC West have played 5 times in the Super Bowl. The NFC West is 3-2 against the AFC West. The last time that they played was 2020. Kansas City, San Francisco, and Kansas City won.
And then the time before that, was that Broncos Seahawks? 2015 or 2012?
I want to say yes. I don't have the list in front of me.
That sounds about right.
That sounds right. The Niners and Chiefs have not played very many times in history. Just FYI. I didn't realize it was that few. 14 times. So since 1971. They've played 14 times. It's 7-7. So if that helps you in your betting line, which it doesn't. But the last time they played was in 22. They played in October of 22. Kansas City won 44-23 at San Francisco. The AFC West is 9-10 in Super Bowls. 8 of those were Denver, by the way. Of the 19 appearances by the AFC West, 8 times it was Denver.
Sounds right.
The NFC West is 8-9 in Super Bowls. 7 of those were by San Francisco. San Francisco is 5-2 in Super Bowls. Just for that reference. I mean, they've not that translates into anything because those were, the last time was 2020, and the team has turned over since then, just about. But it means something. And then if you want to get into statistics, which we can, offensively, Kansas City's averaging 351 yards a game, San Francisco with 398.
Right.
Defensively, Kansas City's averaging 290 given up. San Francisco 304. So they're pretty close. Offensive scoring, San Francisco's averaging 29.9 points per game. Kansas City 21.8.
Yeah.
Defensively, Kansas City's given up 17.3 points, San Francisco 17.5. So the defenses are almost identical in terms of scoring, um,
It's
which
going to be a great game.
which means you're looking at, in my opinion, and this we'll talk. I guess we'll talk more. Let me hold on. Let me hold on to it. Um, this is the reason I put these guys on here. So on the screen right now, this is San Francisco's, some of the defensive players for San Francisco, captains coming out for one of the coin tosses. And then this picture here is the Chiefs defense. In my opinion, whichever defense comes up with the biggest plays is going to win this football game. I don't think it. You can say what you want about the offenses: Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Pacheco. You can talk about all those guys all you want. Somebody's going to make a mistake offensively, or the defense is going to take a ball away. That's what's going to be the difference in this game. Is something on the defense is going to do something amazing, and that'll be the difference. Because both defenses are really good. Now, what do you think about that?
I agree. That sounds accurate. I think that the way that leans though is towards the Chiefs getting to Brock Purdy more than towards San Francisco getting to Patrick Mahomes, because picks happen off of pressure usually.
Yep.
Most of the time, right? Tip balls or pressure, things like that. Very rarely is it just a magnificent back end play. It does happen. So in theory, the line for San Francisco should be able to get to Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes has made fools of every great defensive lineman that he's played against. Like, it doesn't matter. Do you remember when he was absolutely sacked and he threw that pass last week or whatever it was, or a couple weeks ago to Travis Kelce? Like, he had him. He was done. Except he wasn't. And it's a first down. So it's like, it doesn't matter. But I don't see Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy showed off his legs a little bit last game, but I don't see him having that total escapability the same way. So I feel like if I'm picking a team to make a bigger impact, especially in regards to the quarterback, I think it's going to be the Chiefs.
Okay, I okay. I don't know. The Chiefs have won 5 straight. All right, they won the last 2 of the regular season. Although that was a banged up Cincinnati and a Chargers team without Justin Herbert. So, but
then they went and took care of the top 3 offenses in the AFC.
They did, and it was rather impressive. The game against Buffalo was a tremendous football game, but the other ones were kind of. I mean, the Miami did what Miami did all year, which was terrible, and then Baltimore just couldn't seem to solve the defense. They just couldn't quite crack it. But yeah, it was. I thought the Buffalo game was the highlight of the AFC playoffs, but you knew it would be. I mean, those 2 teams are amazing.
I feel so bad for Josh Allen.
I know
he's trying so hard. He just can't get it.
So this game here is going to be interesting. I don't have a great feeling for the winner. If I had to pick one right now, and I do, but if I had to pick one right now, it's hard to bet against Kansas City. It really is.
It really is.
Brock Purdy has more passing yards, touchdowns, and fewer interceptions than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick
Mahomes has noticeably struggled.
Christian McCaffrey has 500 more rushing yards than Isaiah Pacheco, their leading rusher. Right? The NFL's leading rusher, Christian McCaffrey. And by the way, that leads me into the fact that the NFL's leading rusher has won the Super Bowl 4 times, previous, right? And this year there's one in there again, right? Now, the problem with that is those 4 Super Bowl wins are Terrell Davis in 98 with the Broncos, and then Emmitt Smith 3 times.
So it's an unreliable stat.
It's an unreliable stat. The NFL's passing leader has never won a Super Bowl. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But I mean, if you're throwing the football a lot, you're probably not as.
That's a wild stat.
Yeah. Usually, and I think we're just talking in terms of rushing or passing yards, but.
Yeah.
So there's that stat. Anyway, that's out there, and Christian McCaffrey has a chance to become only the 3rd guy ever to be the rushing leader and win a Super Bowl. Not that he's gonna, but he has the opportunity to do that. I don't know. This game, I didn't pick yet, right? Because I'm hemming and hawing it, right? I think the advantage coaching goes to Kansas City. I think the advantage at quarterback, you can say what you want about Party, goes to Kansas City. I think that the advantage total defensively goes to San Francisco, and skill players goes to San Francisco. Right? Offense,
Yes,
off,
yes, yes, yes.
the total offensive package. So if you're going to put a little check mark next to the offense, it's San Francisco. Check mark next to the defense, it's probably San Francisco. Coaching, Kansas City. Intangibles, that's a Kansas City thing. That's how they win games now. Is intangible. They play great defense, but they do those things that they, falling down, throwing a pass to a guy who's falling down, catching a pass. You can't defend that. Not saying it's going to happen again, but anyway, I'm gonna pick San Francisco. I'm gonna pick San Francisco, and I think San Francisco's defense, maybe not the line, but I think somewhere the linebackers, which are the strength for the Niners. I think it's Fred Warner, it's Dre Greenlaw. I think one of those guys. I think they're gonna shut down the running game, make Kansas City throw it all the time, and somebody will make a play. Don't know who that's gonna be, but there you go. That's my pick. Your turn.
I refuse to pick against the grain. Even though I know, I guess technically the 49ers are favorites, so against the grain would be picking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The biggest intangible in all this is Super Bowl experience,
Yes.
which Christian McCaffrey does not have, which Brock Purdy does not have, which Shanahan does. I think Deebo Samuel was on that team that went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So there are a bunch of guys that do. You have to, again, you have to prove. I said it all year. You have to prove it to me. You have to prove to me the Chiefs are going to lose, lose it all.
Yeah.
And this is it all. So you have to prove it to me. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I actually think they win the way they've kind of been winning all season, which is a fairly low scoring, 24 to 17, 24 to 21, something like that.
That'd be the yeah.
But I think they're going to take the lead, and I think they're going to hold it.
Okay. I don't know. The Niners average 7 points per game in the first half and 22 in the second half. So they are a second half comeback team. So you're saying they're going to take the lead would not surprise me.
Yeah.
But San Francisco has shown all year long that they can come back and beat you. They've led their playoff games by a total of 22% of the time, which is the lowest of any of the playoff teams. They're a comeback, come from behind kind of team at the moment, and they find a way to win, which is scary to me. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't know who's going to be the MVP.
If my pick is correct and the Chiefs win, I think it's going. Man, my heart is telling me, or my brain is telling me, follow the money. It's going to be Travis Kelce on that stage with Taylor Swift screaming, "You got to fight for your right to party," like he always does. Or maybe Taylor screams it into the mic for him. That'd be awesome.
Maybe Taylor's the MVP.
Maybe Taylor's the MVP. The
right.
Swifties are the MVP.
Right.
I think it's gonna be Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, I'm with that. I can see why you'd pick Patrick Mahomes.
You can't bank on tight end production.
You can't.
At least not from an MVP standpoint. It's tough.
I'm gonna pick Christian McCaffrey.
If they win, I would agree with that. If San Francisco wins, I think it's going to be C-Mac.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't know. I don't know anything because I've been terrible all year long at picking anything. So, yeah, it's gonna be good. This is gonna be a good football game. If you didn't watch any of the other football games all year and you just wanted to watch a really good football game, this is going to be a good football game.
This is a good one to jump.
Yeah, I don't think either of these two teams are way better than the other team, and I don't think that's going to happen unless there's an injury or unless something just goes drastically wrong. These two teams are pretty evenly matched, and it's going to be good. So this might be one of the best Super Bowls you're going to see in terms of there's going to be points, there's going to be defense, right? There's going to be offense, a little bit of everything in this game. And who knows, it might all come down to special teams. Kickers might decide the game. That they do a lot. Jake Moody for the Niners has missed 4 kicks in the last 3 games. He missed just 3 all year in the first 16 games of the season. He missed 3, but he's missed 4 in the last 3 games. So a missed field goal could be the end. Could be the end of this game. So I don't know.
I'll tell you what, people around here are getting riled up about it because people in Denver, because Christian McCaffrey, obviously his dad's a
Yeah.
famous Bronco, and he went to Valor Christian, which is down Highlands Ranch. So they're really playing it up like we're all on board with Christian. I'm like, I don't understand why.
He's a hometown boy.
He's a hometown boy, except from the hometown about 60 miles south of the city.
No, it's all Denver.
At
Denver,
one of the wealthiest high schools.
the Denver metropolitan area.
The high school we went to, which is called Valor Christian.
Yeah.
It is very nice.
Well,
it is very
nice.
Ed
had some money, so there's that.
Well, actually, one of the local news stations, they got a reporter out to the Super Bowl, and one of the guys who works for the news station, his name is Josh Grismer, and they had the guy who was out at the Super Bowl show him pictures. Like, hey, do you know who this is? And he goes, yeah, that's Josh Grismer. He played with me at Valor Christian. And for the rest of the week, I've had to hear Grismer on the show just giving him crap, saying, well, yeah, me and Christian, we're best friends. No big deal.
Yeah, it's no big whoop. Don't even. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, and I just saw a picture the other day of little Christian McCaffrey running around.
In the Broncos jersey.
Yeah, oh, it was adorable. Yeah. His little blonde hair.
Oh, geez. The news here has been showing that picture nonstop.
Yeah, he's adorable. But that's all right.
Is what it is.
I think, that's what I'm betting on. Niners and McCaffrey, you're going to go with the Chiefs and Mahomes. I get it. That's two good picks, although it's probably going to be a defensive guy that wins the MVP. There you go.
Did you know there are 3 other McCaffrey brothers?
Oh, yeah. And they're all athletic.
I didn't know that. There's Max McCaffrey, who I guess played for the Packers and the 49ers or whatever. He was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
There's a Luke McCaffrey, which I don't know much about him. He's 22. He played at Rice. And there's a Dylan McCaffrey, who is 24 years old. He plays at Northern Colorado. Yeah. So there's I didn't know there were 3 other McCaffrey brothers.
Yeah, Luke. If you get a chance, go back and watch some Rice highlights. Luke looks like Christian at times, not all the time, but at times.
He looks a lot. I mean, I know he's younger, but like I'm looking at pictures of him now. He looks small, like smaller,
he's
like
not,
skinnier.
He's not as big, but he has the same moves, and when he has the football in his hands, he looks the same. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's going to be good. So here's the thing. National anthem is going to be sung by Reba McEntire, who now looks like the Joker. I don't. There comes a time when the plastic surgery, you just don't need it. The Botox or whatever it is you're doing, you don't need it. You don't need to have a little work done because this looks awful. But she's going to sing the national anthem. I'm hoping that she does it tastefully and respectfully and doesn't warble it out.
That doesn't look like work. That looks like Botox.
It looks like frozen. Maybe, yeah. That's
like a wax statue of herself.
It might be for all I know. This could be, but it's just the smile
I'm looking at
is
pictures
way
of her a
too
long
big.
time ago. She's always had kind of a creepy.
It's a little different,
grid.
but it wasn't like
this.
It's
definitely different.
Yeah, it's definitely different because there's a much more definition around the cheekbones. You know what I mean? Up above, and it looks just I don't know. It looks awful. Not that she looks awful, but
I'm sure she'll do good. What's the over under on the national anthem?
I don't know.
Time wise,
I don't know, but it's supposed to be sung fast. It's a fast song.
Well, it's supposed to be a minute and the average time. Well, no, it's not supposed to be. The average time is a minute and like 45 or something like that.
This is an up-tempo number, people.
So right now it's sitting at 90.5 seconds. So minute 20.
She'll be over that. She'll be over that.
For sure. Yeah.
Only
one Super Bowl performer since 1999 has sung under 91 seconds. That was Billy Joel.
Well, good for him. It's supposed to be quick. It's supposed to, right? We do the hard-hitting journalism right here. So there's that. There's that to look forward to, and I don't mind Reba singing. I don't mind her voice. I feel like all national anthem singers anymore think it's about them, like it's a showcase for them, and it's not. It's about the country. It's about honoring the flag. It's not about you. It shouldn't be about you. Don't make it a performance for you. You have plenty of performances to be you. Just sing the thing the way it's supposed to be sung, and get it over with. Just do it, and you'll be good. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell someone that when this is my chance in the spotlight, even though I'm a 9-time Grammy winner and platinum selling artist and blah blah blah. You had all the spotlight. You don't need this.
But it's also, I mean, think about it from like a brand standpoint. Like Reba's she's still trying to sell albums. No matter what way you look at it, she's still an entertainer, she's still a performer. and she's been performing and entertaining in X fashion for years.
Yeah.
She whether or not she needs to, you're asking an entertainer of that caliber to, hey, switch it off for a few minutes, be generic, and then you can turn it back on later.
True.
And it's like, that's not why we invited you, because there's 1,000 kids at the high school, with great voices who could sing it generic.
And that'd be great.
We want you because you got that weird little yodel in your voice that's kind of fun that people really like.
I think it's more of a warble than
it's
a
like a warble. Yeah, you
said
like warble. I said yodel.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
And it's
but that's why they're paying her to do it.
Plus, she'll have extra twang on it because she has some twang. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's that. Anyway, she'll bring that whole Nashville to it. So also Usher is the halftime performer, right? And I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that's good, but I do like some of his music. Is he gonna have friends? Is it gonna be just him?
He has already said there will be guests.
There will be guests, yeah. So I mean,
people are thinking Justin Bieber is going to be a guest.
Oh my gosh, can we get rid of?
He's the one who discovered Justin Bieber. He's the one who initially recorded his music, and he was his initial producer and things like that.
Great.
Also, Justin Bieber hasn't performed in 2 years until a couple weeks ago at the NHL All-Star game.
I was just gonna say,
people thinking it's a warm-up.
I was just gonna say we're gonna be talking about him in the NHL segment in a minute because we can't get rid of Justin Bieber because he's the only Canadian singer apparently. I don't know. Justin Bieber.
My problem is that I don't think there's that many Usher songs that properly. I think that the Super Bowl is a high energy thing.
Yeah.
You want to get people on their feet. You want to be excited and things like that.
Yeah.
Usher has a lot of songs that are very like melodramatic. Obviously, he has
I mean, I don't know. That's the only one I want to hear. Let's be honest.
Well,
I don't know.
You're gonna get it.
Oh yeah, I'm for sure gonna get it. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of things. What will he play? What won't he play?
I wonder if there's odds on that.
Yeah, there should be. There probably is somewhere. I haven't looked it up, but I feel like is he gonna be singing DJ Got Us Falling in Love or My Boo? What's he playing? I don't know. I just need. I'm gonna hear and I'm gonna turn off the halftime show. Is what I'm gonna do.
Yaz a plus 700. Love in This Club's a plus 700. DJ Got Us Fall in Love plus 1100. Boyfriend, Superstar, My Boo, Good. These are all plus 3,000 and more. Burns plus so they're all. He's got a lot of songs that are good. Here's some good ones. Number of songs total 8.5.
Oh, is that?
Are you hitting the over or the under? That's the line.
He's going over. He already said he was going long. By the way, he already said he was going to be longer than normal. They've already allowed for him to be longer than a normal halftime show. I'm like, great. They're already way too long.
All right.
But
outfit changes 1.5. You going over or under?
1.5 is a terrible.
I count an outfit change as just changing a top.
If he just takes off his jacket, is that one?
He goes from shirtless to
shirt
on to shirt off.
Yeah, is that an outfit change? What counts?
That's disrobing. It's not the same.
I don't know because if you can't like the picture I got up right now, if he's got like a shirt on under there, I don't think he does, but if he did and it was a different color and he takes his jacket off and he shows the shirt, now it's a whole different thing, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna go. That's over too.
I think it's go 2 over as well.
I think it'll be 2.
And then the last one they're listing is whether or not he wears sunglasses.
Oh, that's a definite. Yes.
That's a definite.
Definite.
But yes is a minus 270.
How?
I have no clue.
He wears sunglasses in like every video, in every performance. He's gonna have at least he's gonna have them on when he comes out, right?
Special guest performer odds: Alicia Keys minus 330, Ludacris minus 250.
Luda's a good one.
These are all, and then Lil Jon. These are all the Atlanta connections.
Yeah. Lil
so
Jon.
Those 3 are all in the minus. The pluses are will.i.am, Nicki Minaj, Diddy, Justin Bieber, Lil Wayne. Yeah, there's other people in there. Who cares? These are good ones, though. I like prop bets.
I mean, if
They're
you're gonna do then you gotta have Ludacris, right? And Lil Jon, right?
Ooh, yes.
You gotta have them both.
If you're gonna do you have to have Lil Jon. Can anybody get a track on Lil Jon's plane?
Right? See where it's at. Yeah. I mean, we need to know if he's coming, right? We need to know. I don't know. Anyway, it'll be interesting. I don't mind Usher as a pick. I think it's actually pretty good. I think
Pretty tame.
yeah, I can deal with that. There probably won't be a wardrobe malfunction, so there's that. I don't think you have to worry about him saying a whole lot of nasty words or having songs that are. I
His
mean,
songs are always pretty safe.
they're suggestive to begin with, but whose isn't? I mean, that's just kind of a thing now. So I don't know.
He's from that '90s R&B school where it's like
Yeah,
you're saying provocative things, but you're not saying inappropriate things.
right.
But they're also inappropriate because they're provocative by nature. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a whole thing.
hard to say.
But yeah, I'm excited about it. I think he's going to be a good choice.
I do too. I think that'll be a good.
Who's your favorite one recently? Let's say recently, last
oh,
10 years.
I
Not all time, because I know you've got I know there's some great ones in the '90s and early 2000s.
I oh good lord, you're gonna do that to me. I gotta go back here. Let me think, because I'm gonna have to look at a list because I can't honestly remember all of them. But let me do this. So this is recent. How far back are we going?
Let's just say 10 years.
Ooh.
Let's keep it a clean 10 back to the 2014 Super
So
Bowl.
Bruno Mars was that was 10 years. That was a pretty good.
Bruno Mars is at the 10-year mark.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bruno Mars, Red Hot Chili Peppers also. So that was pretty decent, I think. I didn't care for I didn't care for the Shakira Jennifer Lopez thing. I wasn't a
Okay.
I didn't. I just didn't. I didn't like it. I mean, not from a visual perspective, but from a singing perspective, right?
That's fair. That's
Okay.
fair.
All right. I wasn't a big fan of. There's a lot of these I wasn't a big fan. Honestly, I always liked Maroon 5, but
I did not like this.
but I didn't like the performance. Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to. I don't know. That's yeah. It's got to be Bruno Mars is probably the best one that I can remember recently. Prior to that, though, back in the day, so if we go a little further back, you also had the Who and then Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty.
Yeah.
As we go back, you can't go wrong with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, although he can't come back for some reason. But anyway, so there's that. But I don't know. Who's yours?
I'm a toss-up between Katy Perry in 2015 and The Weeknd in 2021.
Yeah, The Weeknd wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It sounded good.
Yeah.
He performed well, and it was a very weird stage. I did not like Rihanna last year
No.
being pregnant, floating 1,000 feet above the world. But Katy Perry had those massive stage sets with she was on the back of a dinosaur at one point, and then that also gave us Left Shark.
Left Shark, yeah.
We had no clue what he was doing. So I don't know, those two of the more recent ones I really liked. I wanted to like the Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar one because I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna play the nostalgia, but it just didn't feel. I don't know, it just didn't seem good. Justin Timberlake in 2018 wasn't bad either, but that was his in the woods phase, and it was kind of strange. So
yeah, I don't know. If you go back further, they had. I'm looking at way back.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson. So the country one with Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt. Those are it's interesting what happened back in the day, but they had themes back in the day, not just a performer. There was a theme for it.
Well, that was before it became commercialized.
Right. U2, 2002. I'm a big fan of U2. That's okay. They can play anytime.
Of course, you got to go with the infamous Janet Jackson, Kid Rock, P. Diddy, Nelly, and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, that was interesting. That might have been the most talked about halftime show.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe of all time. Yeah.
Right.
The Kings of Rock and Pop one was good too with Aerosmith,
and
NSYNC, Britney, and Nelly.
And I always love Paul McCartney, so you can't go wrong with Paul McCartney.
Yeah, there's been some good ones over the years for sure.
So yeah. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about the NFL. NFL's had some. We talked about the head coaching changes. I think last week. We'll talk about some coordinators that have changed positions because there's some big names going on out there. This guy here is supposedly the most handsome guy in football. I don't know if that's true. Well, you know what? Let's back up before we talk about the most handsome guy in football. We didn't talk about the awards for the season, right? So
yeah,
MVP Lamar Jackson. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
You would have picked.
I would have picked Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, good. I would have too. The Associated Press Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. Agree or disagree?
Sure. He took a team that was reeling from injury and all sorts of other crap, and found a Joe Flacco aging and
Yeah.
said, you know what, I think I can make something work with this, and then took him to the playoffs. Yeah, okay.
I'm okay with it. Dan Campbell would have been the other pick.
Dan Campbell would have been, but Dan Campbell won it last year.
I know that. That's why he can't win it again,
And
right?
he didn't do a ton. Well, no,
they were way better than they were last year.
They went 2 more playoff games in.
Yeah,
so,
they were way better than they were last year. So I feel
All
like that would have been okay.
Either one, yeah.
But you knew they weren't going to give it to him because he won it last year. So
yeah.
AP Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Flacco.
Deserved.
I think so. I think that's the solid choice.
I can't think of another person who came out and put on a playoff-worthy performance in their first year back.
Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, no doubt.
Yep.
Okay. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett.
No.
You would have picked?
There's an obvious one out there, and his name is T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
All right. I got some information on this for you.
Okay. Well, on Myles
T.J. Watt. No, on the comparison.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to say Watt stat and then Garrett stat.
Okay.
19 sacks versus 14. 50 pressures versus 36. 36 QB hits versus 30. 12 QB hurries versus 6. And 19 tackles for a loss versus 17. 68 tackles versus 42. 48 solo versus 33. 1 interception versus none. 7 forced fumbles/fumble recoveries versus 5. 8 PD. I don't know what PD is.
Passes defended.
Passes defended 8. Passes defended versus 3. 1 touchdown versus none. Well, TJ Watt led in every single statistical defensive category over Myles Garrett, and he did it all in 3 less games.
Yeah, I don't.
2 less games.
I don't understand.
TJ Watt was the clear winner, but this is not the first time he's been snubbed for DPOY. So,
is he mean? Does he do something to somebody? Did he offend the Associated Press?
I think they're just tired of having the Watt name on the trophy.
That's what it's going to be called later. It's not going to be. It's going to be the Associated Press Defensive Player, the Watt Memorial Trophy, right? When they're all
the
gone.
Watt Memorial Trophy. I like that.
Yeah. Offensive Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud. Agree or disagree?
Yes. Yeah. No, not even a question.
It's hard.
I was thinking about it first.
It would be hard to argue that one.
Yeah.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson.
I don't agree with having a defensive Rookie of the Year and an offensive Rookie of the Year on the same team.
Right.
I think that's strange because I don't know. I just don't love that. But he was really good, so you can't really complain about it too much. But I also think that Witherspoon from the Seahawks was an absolutely viable candidate in a much tougher position that gets a lot less looks. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
And just for fun, I'm gonna throw this one out. I didn't even know this was a thing. The Bud Light Easy to Celebrate Moment of the Year goes to Tommy DeVito of the Giants. I didn't even
all right.
I did not even know that was a thing. I didn't even know there was an award for that. But apparently there's no.
I think So the world wanted the Browns to break through their shell, and they started getting good. They started doing the right things, and then they went out and picked up Deshaun Watson, and then nobody wanted him to do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So if they didn't make that move, even with quarterback chaos, I think that they're the team we're celebrating the most. Like, I think that's like their easy one to go, oh yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm on board with that.
But Tommy DeVito's a great.
It was a good story. It was interesting to watch his agent more than it was him. I mean, right?
He's a perennial backup in this league. He's not gonna do anything else.
Let's talk about the most handsome man in football, and that's Cliff Kingsbury, apparently, as voted on by women everywhere. I guess I don't know who votes on that stuff, but he's going to be the new offensive coordinator at the Commanders. I'm not sure the Commanders is a great spot for Cliff Kingsbury. But I don't know. I guess I don't know. And when is Eric Bieniemy going to get a head coaching job?
Something's up there,
right?
He is doing something wrong. He's rubbing people the wrong way or something because I mean he just lost his job for this guy.
Yeah, to this guy. Well, and then this is former NFL head coach, right? So
yeah,
I guess
it makes sense, but I mean. Something's up though. Clearly, and this is where I start to go, okay, what do these coaches know that we don't? Because in my mind, EB should have a job by now as a head coach. Yeah. But also, he's not getting them despite having, 4 Super Bowls, appearances and 2 Super Bowl titles on his record. what is going on?
Yeah. So here's my question: when did Eric Bieniemy leave the Kansas City Chiefs?
Was it last
Last
year or the year
year?
before?
It was,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
because
last
last
year,
year he left
right?
to become.
And
Yeah.
and look at their offense this year, right?
Ooh, that's a great point.
So I think, if their offense took a gigantic step back, which it did, you can blame a lot of things, but the offensive coordinator has a lot to do with that play calling and whatnot. So
True.
I feel like he was the reason why they were as good as they were offensively. But they're going to give Andy Reid all the credit because he's the head coach. So that's what they
Yeah.
do. Anyway, and then what happened to Cliff Kingsbury? I thought he was a Raider. I'm pretty sure he had Raiders apparel on, and then it wasn't. Then it had to be about money. Is that all it was? Was that they couldn't figure out how to pay him, or they wouldn't pay him enough, or I mean I don't know what the deal is, but
I don't know exactly what happened. I know that he had. So what I'm reading is that he had a contract dispute, or he had some sort of issue about that, and so he withdrew. So he agreed to do it, but then they were trying to change some parts of the contract.
yeah. Well,
And then he was like, "All right, well, now I'm out of here." But I mean, could you imagine you two both have an agreement, you and somebody else, and then it comes time to sign the papers? You go, "Wait a minute, hold on, what's this right here?"
yeah.
Like
That's
that, it
true.
immediately creates an air of distrust. Not that Mark
Right.
Davis deserves a lot of trust.
Well, yeah. There's that. This guy, Alex Van Pelt, is the new offensive coordinator in New England, taking over for Bill O'Brien. Um, spent the last four
Bringing Joe
seasons.
Flacco with him.
Yeah, right. He spent the last 4 seasons as the Browns offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. And he's gonna be working for Jared Mayo now, right? The new head coach. So he, Kevin Stefanski called the plays in Cleveland. He wasn't but he's responsible for the overall offense. So I don't know how this is gonna work, but I mean, New England's a good place to go to experiment, I guess, because New England's an interesting team, right? In that I don't know how good they really are. They were tied for last in the NFL with 13.8 points per game. I know their offense wasn't great. They have Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, although they also have the number 3 pick in the draft. Would you take another quarterback? That's a question, right?
Yeah.
I would, but that's just me.
Yeah, because Bailey Zappi and frickin' what's his name are not the guys.
Mac and cheese. Yeah, I don't know.
Mac and cheese.
It's just one of those Jones boys. I just don't remember. Anyway, also offensive coordinator now is Arthur Smith, who used to be the head coach in Atlanta. He's now the offensive coordinator who has a really suspect mustache. I'm just saying this. I really don't like it. He either get the whole one or trade that bad boy in or just get rid of it. I don't know. But he's replacing Matt Canada in Pittsburgh, right? And Canada was fired earlier, right before the season ended, because Pittsburgh's offense was so bad. But I don't know about Arthur Smith, who was fired by the Falcons with a 21-30 record in 3 seasons, right?
Right.
I don't know. He was 7-10 3 straight years as the Falcons head coach. I mean, I know the Falcons not a great thing, but you're just supposed to be turning him around. He was the Titans offensive coordinator from 19 to 20, which is saying, hey, hand the ball off. I don't know. I don't know about Arthur Smith. I don't even know why he was the head coach in Atlanta, to be honest with you. But all right. So there you go. There's another offensive coordinator move. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Kellen Moore, another big name, right? And his third team in 3 years, now becomes the Eagles offensive coordinator.
That's a great spot for him.
The Eagles have decided to bulk up a little because also the Eagles picked up Vic Fangio to be their defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So
they could be mean.
They've gone big, and that's amazing. So Kellen Moore's just 35, by the way, and he was in LA for only 1 year. Before that, he was the Cowboys coordinator. His offenses are in the top 5 in terms of points and yards and all that kind of stuff over that span. Vic Fangio, who I have a picture of, I have another guy here to talk about, but Vic Fangio was the Dolphins defensive coordinator, but he's also been, everywhere. He's been at every team, I think.
Came in and ruined my Broncos.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do. So he's 65, right? He worked with the Eagles for 2 weeks last year as a consultant, by the way. But anyway, before he became a Dolphins defensive coordinator. But yeah, I don't know. Vic Fangio's a legend in the defensive communities. I don't know if he's that great, but I mean, he is what he is. But let's talk about Ken Dorsey as well, because Ken Dorsey is now the offensive coordinator in Cleveland, from Buffalo. And mm, I don't know if that I feel like that's a step back, and I don't know if that's because he was fired in November.
Yeah.
So there's that, and obviously you're going to have to take a step back. But he's replacing Alex Van Pelt. If Kevin Stefanski is still the head coach, and he is, will Ken Dorsey get to call plays? I mean, that's something they got to negotiate and work out. But I think Ken Dorsey has done great things in Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo was as good this year as they had been the last 2 or 3 years. But who was this year? Who was better this year than they were the year before? Not many teams.
Not many
No,
teams.
there was
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, Detroit. San Francisco might have been better than they were last year.
You could make an argument that Cleveland was better this year than they were last year.
You could do that. I could go with that.
You could also make an argument that they fell into that.
Yeah, you can make an argument that Baltimore was better than they were last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a few teams.
There's a few teams in there. So anyway, there's that. So that's what's happening in the NFL. Those are all new coaching changes. But not that it'll matter. I mean, it seems like all these coaches have been in the league for however long, and they just kind of switch positions. And yeah, you might sit out a year, but then you come back in as somebody else's coordinator or whatever, and then next thing you know, they're head coach again or whatever. I don't know. I always felt like there's 32 NFL teams and there's 36 NFL head coaches, and at any point in time, there's 4 of them sitting out. Next year, those 4 guys will have jobs, and there'll be 4 other guys sitting out, and it just kind of rotated around. It has changed a little. But it's interesting. So I don't know. I always feel like the roulette is interesting to watch. So any other noticeable, any other ones? Who did I miss? Did I miss somebody that you were wanting to talk about, or?
Did we talk? Oh, no, we did talk about him last. I said McDonald.
Yeah, Mike
Well,
McDonald.
hey, there's a new blood person, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Like
That's
a name
true.
that you don't hear that much about that
No.
just got kind of put up there. But yeah, there definitely seems. It definitely seems to be. I'd say it's probably more like there's 45 coaches
45. Okay, maybe.
and 32 spots.
Yeah.
Because guys go away and then come back, like Fangio. Like he was a coach and then he wasn't, and then he was, and then he's not.
It's true.
And so like you make your ways in and out of them. It's very strange. But yeah, there's a couple guys on the sidelines just waiting for jobs.
So we're going to quickly talk about the NBA. That might be all we have time for today. Let's quickly talk about the NBA All-Star Game. The rosters are out. It's East versus West again this year. Back to the way it kind of was. It's the rosters here. It's on your screen right now. Your West and your East rosters. The starters there are highlighted with the stars next to them, and then of course you have a captain, which is dumb, but because they're all captains, right? And then the rest of the roster is filled in there. And so if you had to bet on the starting fives playing each other, these 2 starting fives playing each other, let's just say it was a 10-minute game, all out. Who wins this game?
Well, one thing I'll tell you real quick is Joel is out, season-ending surgery.
So yeah, but you're going to get
significant time. But if these guys are all healthy,
yes,
I think it's a no-brainer that the West wins.
You think so?
Well, yeah, I mean LeBron's going to get half the calls, so you're good there.
Well, that's true. I guess that's
and
true.
So I'm looking at the matchups here. Jokic on Embiid. Embiid doesn't want the smoke. He never has. He never will.
That's true.
Giannis versus LeBron. You can't charge LeBron and not get called.
Maybe.
So he can charge a lot of other people and not get called. But no, Shea versus Tyrese. Yeah, that's a good matchup. That's pretty clean even. Technically, JT and Kevin Durant play the same position.
Yeah.
At least within this framework right here, it's kind of strange. I don't know. I think that actually leans towards JT.
The West is a little bit bigger.
The West has definitely got more size.
Yeah.
And then Luka versus Dame. I like Luka now. I liked Dame 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Dame has lost a little bit. He gave his best years to Portland, and he doesn't have a ton left.
Right. So, yeah, it's interesting. And then you can see all these guys, the perennial guys that are there, right? Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Jaylen Brown, who should be Donovan Mitchell. Those guys should be there. And then we had some guys that aren't there. Domantas Sabonis is not on a roster. James Harden is not on a roster. Not that he should be, but these are guys that are not on a roster that have traditionally been on a roster.
The problem, I think, is the way the NBA labels guard forward. They don't have a what's it called? They don't have a middle ground there. They don't have a point guard, shooting guard.
Yeah.
You're not electing those positions. You're electing a guard or a forward.
Right.
That's it. So when you're looking at, James Harden, who plays for the Clippers,
Yeah.
you have to beat out Steph, and you have to beat out Luka, and you have to beat out a bunch of other really, really good guards.
There's some players out
to
there
get your
for
name
sure.
on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of interesting. It's hard when you're competing against this many good players. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of good players in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox, right? That's a good basketball player. We're talking about who else got snubbed? Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray, I love Jamal Murray. I think he's great. I think he's an accent piece.
Yeah,
he's a good accent piece. He's the perfect accent piece for the team he's on. But I think of him like I think of Jalen Brunson. Like, you switch him a team, is he carrying that team? I don't think so.
But Jalen Brunson's on an All-Star team.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's because the East is
right. Well,
light.
That's true. Rudy Gobert.
That's a tough one. Yeah, that team is doing really well this year.
Yeah.
Talk about unexpected.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that either. But yeah, Rudy Gobert is another one.
But he also never gets awarded Defensive Player of the Year, despite leading the league in blocks and defensive efficiency year after year. So he's probably not used to being snubbed.
He probably isn't. And then we talked about James Harden, Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler's been a little under the radar this year.
Sure, and I'll give you that.
Not bad, but just under the radar.
Yeah, he kind of has been the last couple of years during the regular season, and then he's a playoff god. I don't know how he does that.
It's because he's got focus and energy like you wouldn't believe, right? Like
right.
If I'm picking one hustle player across the NBA, I think it might be him.
Yeah, and if I needed a guy in a playoff game, if I had to go pick up a guy for a playoff, it would be him. He just plays in the playoffs better than. And then these are some of the guys, but Chet Holmgren.
Well, if you're going to keep out Victor, you have to keep out Chet.
I suppose, although Chet's, a veteran now.
Well, this is his second. This is his. He's still eligible for Rookie of the Year
because he didn't play enough last year. Yeah,
because he didn't play. So I think that's so funny because somebody posted a thing about Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons just got back from injury, and started playing again. And somebody was like, "Man, only another 20 games, we can see him win Rookie of the Year."
Trae Young, also, right?
I hate Trae Young.
I
can't stand him. He is of the new wave of NBA basketball player. Yeah. He is the most overrated because his only thing, like, he's a skills competition player. That's all he is.
Sure. Okay.
He's a 3-point shooting. I can't stand Trae Young.
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving. I mean, if you're gonna give it to Luka, they're both guards.
Do you know who probably should have
can't take two from the same team?
You know who probably should have got in was Kristaps Porzingis.
Porzingis would be a good one. Porzingis has helped that team quite a bit make up for the fact they lost Marcus Smart.
For sure. There's some guys. I don't know. It was interesting to see, and you're always going to have those guys that you maybe should have got in, and Lauri Markkanen.
I saw a guy, Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes.
He's doing really good.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet. There's some guys. Just saying they could have been in, but they weren't. So, anyway, there's that. Here's what I'm looking forward to. I don't normally like the All-Star weekend. I don't like the All-Star game. I don't like watching guys just not play defense and lob the ball up and smack it off the basket so other guys can dunk. I think that's stupid. If we're not going to do that, if we're not going to play, let's just have skills competition. Let's just have the fun, because the game is meaningless and it's pointless. I mean, we're going to raise money, or we're going to do whatever, or we're going to honor Kobe, great, that's fine. But you could do it in a less, the game itself doesn't mean anything anymore. It really doesn't. It has no meaning over the history, over anything. It used to be these guys would battle. The East and the West would battle in this game. They would actually, there was less defense, but they would try and win. There's some, there's something to be earned by winning the NBA All-Star game. The guys would be fighting over
So I learned about this recently. There's no contract incentives towards winning the All-Star game. There's contract incentives to be selected, but that's basically a regular season award to get into the All-Star game.
Yeah.
There is no benefit for a player, and there has never been a benefit for a player to try in the All-Star game other than pride. And what have we found? Pride is what happens before the downfall, right?
Well,
Pride's, these guys are willing to go out there and they're willing to put on a little bit of a show. That's why you and I like other competitions better. But it's I just don't. I get why they don't try. It's on the NBA to fix it.
Yeah, that's true.
The onus is on the NBA to make an incentive worth competing for. And they just haven't. They haven't done it in 20 years.
So part of the problem is the voting system, right?
Well, the voting system's dog.
Yeah, right. So the voting system makes it hard for you can't make being an all-star a part of your bonus.
Gotta take the fan vote out.
Yeah, because you gotta take the fans out. But then again, who are you gonna replace them with? Sports writers or players?
But think about what the weekend is. The weekend is a weekend to see all of your favorite players in one place. It's literally a fan event to begin with.
It is. You're right.
So taking the fan vote out is kind of counterintuitive to letting the fans feel a part of the weekend.
Here's what I think should happen. You ready? I feel like there should be 2 fans selected at random
to play on the teams.
Oh, and you have to start them. They have to be out there for tip-off, and they have to play X amount of minutes. That would make it more interesting, would it not?
I would not be mad if LeBron James didn't step out and try and swat some 5'5" fan, right? Like you can play lax defense when there's fans on the court, or better yet, make it to where two you have a bunch of fans that play. Two people out of every 5 on the court for each side have to be fans.
Yeah.
And you just rotate them out. So you do 2 in the first quarter, 2 in the second quarter, 2 in the third,
random.
Fourth.
Yeah.
And then you have fans playing basketball.
It would be
LeBron James
so much more
Davis.
interesting. It would be so much more interesting. Yeah. They'd find a way to rig that.
I'd honestly rather just watch a game of fans playing.
Oh, that would be so cool if every team.
How about this?
Every team could select a fan, one fan.
Okay, now we're talking. Every team selects a fan.
Yeah.
And the fans are competing for 1% of the NFL
the NBA salary
or the NBA salary, like whatever like the total salary is, you're competing for 1% of it.
I like it.
So you have these 2 teams battling over what is ultimately almost $1 billion, probably.
Man,
you don't think they're going to take out each other's kneecaps?
Absolutely,
sure.
There would be some there'd be some blood.
And then your 2 NBA All-Stars, you vote for 2 NBA All-Stars, and those are the coaches of the teams.
That'd be great. I like it. I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. I also like this. I like the fact that Steph and Sabrina are going to shoot it out.
I don't like.
I do like this. I like this not just because it's Sabrina, but I like this idea of the cross between the 2 leagues. I like the idea of hey, Sabrina just set a record for NBA for 3-point shooting, right, at the last All-Star game, right? Take your bests and play them against each other in a way that you can actually compete, not head to head like a one-on-one game, but this is a way they can actually compete against each other. It's the same shooting, you know what I mean? Make it the same distance, same amount of balls, right? Make it the same, make it even, make them compete. I like the idea of that. I think there should be more than just this one-on-one, right? Mix the WNBA and the NBA All-Stars together. Play them together.
Here's my problem with this 3-point contest.
Yeah.
It's and this is a very simple. It's an easy fix if they want to. They don't use the same size ball.
They don't. And
that advantage goes towards Sabrina.
Okay.
Because they use the same size hoop.
Okay.
That's it. There's no way to directly compare competition between 2 people when one person has, even in the slightest way, a handicap.
I suppose
that helps them. So either Sabrina needs to use a men's ball, or Steph needs to use a women's ball, or the rim needs to change size between shooters. But it's not smaller in WNBA, so you're not going to do that.
Right.
It's just strange. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I love the cross. I love the contest. I think all that's great.
Mix them.
I just mix them.
Mix the balls.
Steph goes down to grab one and it's
smaller.
An inch smaller. He's
like,
what the hell?
Mix them so on this rack it's 3 NBA and 2 WNBA, and on this rack it's the other way. Mix them.
One of my favorite stories is we had a basketball player at PSU. She came over to our rec gym one time, and I was playing basketball all day for like 4 or 5 hours. She comes in, she starts talking to us like, hey, do you guys want to play a game? We're like, yeah, sure. She goes, is it okay if we use a women's ball? And I was like, yeah, no problem. I get a pass and I shoot it and it goes clear over the back of the hoop, and I went, holy crap!
Yeah,
It's like a pound and a half less of air,
it is,
and you just send it.
it's amazing how small it feels, especially if you've just been playing with the full size,
just all day, yeah, with one.
Then you grab the other one, you're like, whoa. Yeah,
it was the weirdest thing. So I think when you mix them together in a rack and Steph has to grab different size ones,
right?
I feel like it would affect him more than it would affect her. To have to shoot down a size,
maybe,
than her to shoot up a size.
I don't know.
Because I guarantee you, she goes to events all the time where she shoots a men's ball.
It's probably true. She's probably done more shooting of the men's basketball than he has for the women's basketball. That's
right,
probably true.
exactly.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, are you looking forward to the All-Star game at all?
I'm not going to watch the All-Star game. I'm going to watch the skills competition.
I will,
but I'm not watching the All-Star game.
I agree.
I don't care. I'll see all the important highlights the next day. Twitter or Instagram will show me, oh, here's LeBron throwing it down at 40. Right. Here's Luka shooting a 95-footer from the concession stand. Like, I don't care. Like,
I feel like there's another thing they could do: distance shooting. So you can hit a shot from the furthest away.
I would rather just watch them play like pig or horse.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
And do trick shots all game.
That would be neat. Yep.
Then just a faux game format.
Right. I also think that the 3-point shooting competition should be a team, in that you don't,
it's like a relay.
No, you don't pick up the ball off a rack. One of your teammates passes it to you.
Ooh.
He has to hit you with it. He passes it to you, you shoot it. He passes it to you, you shoot it. You don't pick it up off a rack. He's got all the balls down at the baseline underneath the basket. He passes it to you and you shoot it. And that way it's a matter of him getting a good pass to you, right?
Yeah,
that you can handle.
There's a little extra element.
Exactly. It's a team.
Although
award.
I would argue that both WNBA and NBA, all across the board, it's easier to correct a slightly bad pass. It's unnatural to grab off the rack with speed.
True, but maybe what you do is you swap halfway. So there's, instead of 25 shots, it's 30 shots. There's 15 for you, 15 for me. We have to swap halfway. You pass them to me, and you got two shooters.
I also think that you should select each other's money rack. Like, you shouldn't select your own money rack and say, "Oh, I want that one in the corner." It's like,
no,
I'm putting you at the very top.
Yeah, this is where you're the worst at it. This is your least. This is your worst percentage. This is where I'm picking. I agree.
Tell me you did your research on your opponent and put his rack up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't know. There's ways to spice it up even further, right? But it could be interesting. I'm not gonna watch the game. I'll be honest. Unless I have nothing else to do, I'm probably not watching that basketball game. But I will watch the skills, because I do like watching the skills competitions. I don't care for the dunk thing anymore. I could care less, but everything else I'll watch.
It's been a while since there's been a good dunk contest.
They're all the same dunks.
It's because dunks are hard to make a new, like, what's most impressive to me is how far you get off the ground.
They need an all-around competition.
They need trampolines.
But they need an all-around competition where we have a speed, right? Like speed dribble up the floor, and then you've got a passing, and then you've got a shooting, and you've got a dunk. So all of those you get scored on, and then we have a winner overall.
You know what else we don't need, though? We don't need freaking Kenny the Jet Smith giving everybody 10s.
Well, that's true. Because
the judges aren't judging. They're judging hype and energy. They're not really judging.
Is the crowd
the dunks.
excited about it? Yeah, then they give everybody gets a 10, except that East German judge. Anyway, that's all I got really for today. One last side note. Former Oregon Duck head coach Chip Kelly is going to be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Which is interesting, right?
It's a great move for his career.
It really is.
It's even though you're going from a head coach to an OC, it's just.
I don't know. I feel like.
Wait, is that him with Luke Fickle or not Luke Fickle? Ryan Day in the background.
I have that same question. It looks like him in San Francisco. I don't know if Ryan Day was on his staff in San Francisco. I haven't looked it up.
I'm googling it.
But it could be.
Sure enough, San Francisco 49ers 2016
there you
QB
go.
coach.
There you go.
And he was the Eagles QB coach in 2015.
There you go.
Chip got fired and took him with him.
Explains it all. So they got a connection. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, I don't love it because next year, Ohio State's going to be back at Oregon.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
And we're going to have to boo Chip Kelly again.
Well, if he stayed at UCLA, you'd have had to boo him anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
It's true.
Just
it's
not
true.
every year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But also, I hate Ohio State. So
I mean,
all day. Chip, you're officially on the crap list.
Outside of Ohio, who doesn't? So there.
Well, no, outside of Columbus, even most of the people in Ohio don't like Ohio State.
That's probably true. So, yeah, and that's all I got for today. Anything else you want to add before we go?
I got nothing.
Okay. We are going to come back next week, I think. Yeah. And if you're available, you available?
Oh yeah.
We'll do it next week, and we'll talk about the Super Bowl and how it came out and how it should have came out if it didn't come out the way we thought it should have. And then we'll we'll talk about how many times Taylor Swift was on TV. We'll talk about whether Reba was any good. We'll talk about commercials. It's pretty much just going to be a Super Bowl recap the whole time. We'll see what else pops up if we got time for it. But we end up going long on NFL stuff. So kind of what we do here. But that's all in the offing for next week. And yeah, that's all I got. We want to thank our sponsors, The Range in Yakima, Boss Kitty Yarns, Stavenstone Wine Estates in Hood River. That's all I got. So I keep thinking there's something else and I'm forgetting to say something. You get that feeling? That you just
you're missing
there's
something.
one thing that I'm forgetting to say and I don't know what it is, and I just at this point I'm like, maybe not.
I'm pretty sure it's goodbye.
Okay, could be it. That could be it. All right. Anyway, we're going to talk to y'all next week. Super Bowl recap. Want to thank y'all for listening. This has been a Brain Rock production, a division of Lonely Tree Media. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.